Hello, this is Katie. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it's your first time. I'm going to be using this Best Witches set from Stampin' Up. I was showing you the item number for Stampin' Up as well. And then the Cat Scrappiness Wonky Stitched Squares that I have pre-cut out of the second size down because the biggest would not have fit. The card bases are 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. And then because these are foam red rubber, I have to take out the insert in the Misty because they're a little taller, and then magnet down to the paper pad that's down there. And then I've been using my palette knife from my Cricut, which I realized I don't have my Cricut anymore and I kept that, but I use it for many other things. Because the sticker on the back of these, when you put these all together when they're brand new, is very, very, very sticky and wants to stick to the stamp case. So I have to peel it up with that. If it's too sticky, you can also do a stick off on your bare skin somewhere 1 or 2 times and it won't be as sticky, but it will still stick to the Misty window, for example. So I wanted to be able, I had already pre-cut my card bases, and this size of the white cardstock was going to not totally hide the purple of the card base. And I wanted to fit the sentiments on the front, but I remembered that fronts of cards don't have to have sentiments. And so I decided to put it on the inside. And then I did 2 passes with this one. The red rubber is probably just a little bit different, but I couldn't fit her and the frog on there at the same time just because of the nature of the red rubber stamp. So I did him separately, but he still fit where I wanted him to go. I just couldn't do them at the same time. So now that I've stamped both of those, I'm going to put away my Misty and clean off this little stamp and put it back. It also sticks a little too well to the window sometimes, so I have to use, I don't have a lot of red cling stamps for this reason, but sometimes that's all Stampin' Up! Has. I'm going to link my pressure pal down below as always because it is the best tool for stamping platforms. And I am going to add some stars. So I decided to add more stars to the one that already had stars because it was just a little too empty. And then the other one needed something, so I added the stars into the corner. And then I just cleaned that stamp off and put it away. I'm trying to decide where I want my combo. V09, V17, and V15 I use a lot. This is going to be kind of a mishmash between the two of them of similar color combinations, but you'll see what I end up doing basically by the time I'm done. This color combo, I think I need to come up with a better purple color combo, a 3-color combo for Copics, and I'm sure it's possible. I just haven't tried very hard. If you have a favorite 3-color purple combo that is not this one, V09, V17, V15, let me know down below. There's also V12, but the V15 is such a different purple. You'll see when I color it in here, when I go to blend it all out. I don't hate how the end result is as long as you do enough blending, but the V15 is such a different purple. It's more, I don't know anything about color, but to me it's more of a lavender-ish hue. I had to trim, there was a little fraying on the end of my Copic. I only recommend that if you can do it very carefully, but I trimmed it off because it was affecting my coloring. This seems to me like kind of a lavender hue, while the other ones are plum purple, which I do prefer the plum part of it. I'm just not sure what third marker to replace the V15 with, but this combo works for me for now. I can't remember the name of it. Maybe it's just Purple Blend on the Tri-Blends. I really like that one. I should probably try to color match between those 3 blend colors and which Copic they're closest to and see if I can get a close blend to that, if that makes sense. I just don't know. There are probably purple Copics I don't have or aren't even on my chart because I know they're being updated regularly too. So there's that. My favorite green tri-blend is the Alpine Green Blend, so I decided to color in this frog. I do forget his eyelids, but I go back later because I realize I just look for all the white areas that I missed and I forgot his eyelids, so I just use the lightest color when I eventually go back. But this is a super cute green for a frog, and this frog reminds me of a frog. When I was in elementary school, our mascot was the frogs. It was a frog. And there was this frog stamp that my teachers, or one of my teachers, used to stamp on our homework. And I loved it. And then I found it at the store one day. And so I bought it. So I have it now because it's just, I loved elementary school. I wish I could go back and do it all over again. But he kind of looks like him, but it's just like this jumping frog with his arm in the air. Like, you did a good job. And so I bought that stamp and I have it. I haven't really used it, but I just bought it for fun. Anyway, he kind of looks like him a little bit, so that makes me happy. And I do use a lot of tri-blends here. The Tan Shades is my favorite, like, darker brown. The lighter brown in the tri-blends, there is a tan blend for the lighter brown. So I like the tan blend and the Tan Shades. There's an earth brown blend where the colors just aren't that different. They aren't different enough to make it look like, a gradient. So that one is a little disappointing. There are a few, like a handful, maybe up to 5, I want to say 4 or 5 tri-blends that just don't blend well, or the colors are too similar. But I like most of them, so that's why I reach for them so often. I'm using the Ice Gray Shades to kind of be my black, so the black band on the hats and the cauldron and what will be her hair here. And I'm trying to get a blend in that little tiny area over there, and that kind of works out. But we're definitely using our purples, oranges, and greens, kind of mixing those up a little bit. And then I decided I wanted her little cape to be black as well, which is Ice Gray Shades, which is dark gray when I color it. And then I colored underneath here in all the light color, but I decided to go back and give it some shading, so I did the darkest. On this particular marker, the Ice Gray Shades, my dark end cap is so tight that sometimes it pulls out the whole barrel, and I hate it. And so if I'm going to be using it a number of times, I shouldn't be capping it, honestly. If I got the cap off, it's a miracle to begin with. But sometimes they're just a little too tight. They didn't make them super well. So when I pull it off, it sometimes pulls the whole like tube of marker ink out with it, and then I have to I usually use that palette knife, the spatula thing, the Cricut spatula that I peeled up the stamps with. I usually use that and try and wedge it in between to pop the cap off in the other direction because it's very annoying. I tried to glue, apparently unsuccessfully. I don't know. It didn't come out this time. Maybe it worked. A long time ago, I glued the barrel in and let that rest a while to see if that would help hold it in better. But I don't know. I guess I'll find out. But it is very tough to take off. So I decided to use the Tan Shades for her skin tone here, and then the Ice Gray Shades to kind of be the black hair. But there would be like firelight kind of reflecting as well on the cauldron and her hair and the band. So that's where my light source is coming from, which is why it is gray. And then I decided to mix orange and purple, which isn't too bad because it's Halloween and really all the colors kind of appear together. I know that green and purple are a better combo because they're opposite each other on the color wheel or next to each other. I think it's opposite. No, because that's red and green. I think purple and green are next to each other. I can't remember. Anyway, it's all Halloween color. So I think the orange and the purple actually looks pretty good together. And then I think I throw in some green for her tights. So she gets kind of all the Halloween colors with the purple and the orange and the green, which are, let's see, orange and black obviously are the main Halloween colors. Green at some point was incorporated in crafting land, and so was purple. And those are like the 4 main crafting Halloween colors for me. So then I am going to stick these down to their card bases with foam tape to give it some dimension. And so we're going to be putting the sentiment on the inside. And there are 2 sentiments on here that match pretty well with each girl, which I'm assuming they did on purpose. And so I will be using the matching sentiment on the inside. I think if you do, especially if you have a super busy card front, if you do well enough, you don't need any words on the front. Your sentiment can go on the inside. So just a reminder, you don't have to make room for a sentiment on the front if you don't want to. So I will stick those down, and then we will stamp our sentiments on the inside. I'm just grabbing a couple of my small Lawn Fawn blocks. These stamps were like a smidgen bigger, but they happen to fit just right for stamping. So that worked out. So for this one, I decided to use the If You've Got It, Haunt It. I thought that suited her very well. And then for this one, we're doing You've Put a Spell on Me, because she's doing her spells over her cauldron. And I totally forgot to color in her cauldron bubbles, so I will be doing that in a second. But I'm going to be using my Nuvo glitter drops in Gold Coast, which is my favorite of all of the Nuvo glitter drops. It's just great for stars. It's great for anything. It's just clear with gold glitter. And it's really good for stars, which is really what I use it for. I must fill in a lot of stars. I'm sure I've used it on many other things as well. But it's just my favorite one, so there's that. And then I will use, after I, Wink of Stella on some areas. I colored in the cauldron bubbles with like the light green of the Alpine Green blend from the frog. And I decided to just Wink of Stella up a couple things there. And that will be it. So I need to let those dry. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another video. Bye.